I'd come on here and say hello, say g'day. If anyone turns up, I didn't even schedule this, so I would come on here and say hello. I'm drinking my coffee right now. It is Saturday morning here, quite early. What is the time? 5:46. This coffee tastes a bit funny today. It is Saturday morning here, quite early. What is the time? 5:46. Give it a couple of minutes, see if anyone wants to chat with me. Would love to see you. Thank goodness it's Saturday. We have the frogs going off with all the rain we've had lately. My daughter keeps complaining they keep her awake. They get stuck in the drains. I mean, I'll sleep through most things once I'm asleep. Hey, I'm good. How are you? Is it Saturday? Are you in Australia? Happy Saturday or happy Friday Eve. I just thought I'd come on here just to say a quick hello. I normally do a live on a Saturday, but I didn't schedule anything and I just thought, I'll come on here, see if anyone's around. Been talking to myself for yes, Melbourne. Oh, is it nice and chilly? Is it starting to get into the cold time of the year? I've been to Melbourne quite a few times. I normally go to Sydney quite a lot with work, but Melbourne, we do like to go and have little trips, like weekend trips. I've got family in Melbourne too. Couldn't live there though, pretty cold. I went there for the Grand Prix one year, the F1, many, many years ago when I first arrived in Australia. And it was they're so true about the 4 seasons in one day. Yeah. Was it you that said you were, you got some long leave service coming up? Am I correct? Oh, long leave service. I left my last job when I was, I think, 9 years in. Yeah, coffee is good in Melbourne. The sport, the atmosphere in Melbourne is amazing. My husband drives around Melbourne and Sydney each week. He does get annoyed with the traffic. He drives a truck. But then Brisbane traffic isn't any better, to be honest with you. Are you looking forward to your long leave? Have you got, what, 8 weeks off? Yeah, my last job, I left I left at, like, 9 years, so I didn't get my long leave service, so but yeah. Well, you must like it. I got to the point I really couldn't make another year, and it was the best move I did, to be honest with you, as much as I've lost the was it 8 weeks service? Taking 4 weeks. And you can take them as and when you want, can't you? That's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what you think about Dashing. Are you gonna do Uber Eats too? Or you're just gonna stick with Dashing? It'll be really cool to have 4 weeks. 4 weeks, 4 weeks to yourself, and you could do, like, the Dashing casually. I'd love to do that. I'd love to quit my day job and just do Dashing or Uber Eats when I feel like it, as and when I feel like it. I'm actually really dreading tax year this year because of the extra income I've earned doing this, even though I saved the money, it's still. Oh, okay. Yeah. It again, yeah, different parts have different market needs. Like DoorDash was really busy last night. We went out and we just did DoorDash. It was really busy, and in the 2 hours that we're out there, we're earning, I think we earned over $100, and it was like 50 something dollars an hour. But it was wet, and that tends to mean it. And there was no, I think there was $1 an hour incentive $1 per job, which helps. But DoorDash was on fire last night. I just thought I'd come on here anyway and say hello. Oh, yeah, that's what I do. He only comes with me on Friday nights and Sunday mornings. The rest of the time I like to go on my own, but it does help. I find that the anxiety, like, I had really bad anxiety before I started this, and the thought of me doing this on my own was like, because I work from home, I felt like a bit of a recluse, to be honest with you, and I feel like it sort of saved me. And anyway, like, there's no way I could have done it without my husband, and we started doing it together, and I wouldn't do it in the week, and then this was only, like, November time, and then, yeah, now I love going out on my own, unless it's really, really bad conditions weather-wise or it's dark. I don't like doing the dark on my own, but, yeah, I think it has definitely helped my anxiety, like, it's incredible, like, the confidence. I still get nervous every time I turn my app on because I think, "Oh, well, where am I going? Where where am I going? What happens if I kind of find the address? What happens if something happens?" Like, my brain is always thinking, "What happens if?" Like, it's always thinking the worst. It's crazy. Yeah. I think it will definitely help your anxiety. I don't think it has helped my fitness because, to be honest with you, I used to do a bit more activity before I started this. I used to always walk first thing in the morning, and now I'm doing this. But saying that, my anxiety was my biggest issue. Like, staying at home, I would be like a recluse. And I've heard quite a few YouTubers that said when they started their YouTube channel and they started doing the gig work, the delivery, that it has not just helped them. Obviously, putting yourself out there on film, but on camera on YouTube is massive. You get anxiety. I see myself and I'm like, oh, and yeah, so I got, like it does make you anxious, but then it also helps you and it helps you in more ways than one. I'm earning extra cash. I'm vlogging. I'm doing something I really enjoy and I'm getting out the house and it's helping my anxiety. Oh, thank you. No, I'm glad you found my videos. But yeah, anxiety is massive. And I guess unless you have anxiety, you would never get it. Like, my husband doesn't get anxiety, and he's like, "What you're anxious about? Why are you worried? Why do you worry about something that hasn't happened yet?" And I go, "You just don't understand." But yeah, it has definitely helped my anxiety. There's no way I would have got behind. Like, I used to, no way would I get in the car and just drive a place that I didn't know. I'd have to know the area. Now I'm pretty confident and I know the areas really well. I've only been in this area about 12 plus months. Yeah. Isn't it funny how we marry the opposite? Oh. It's funny though. My husband is an extrovert though, but there's no way he would put himself on social media. No way. He's a very private person when it comes to what's going on in his life. So it's really weird. It's like, well, I'm an introvert, but I put myself out there. How does that even work? Like, I'm a introvert. I I find it really hard to actually talk to people that I don't know, and I like my friends that I do know and that I can have an easy conversation with. I wouldn't just go and make friends with someone random. But he can just go and talk to anyone. But then he's very private. He wouldn't put himself on YouTube. So I guess there's different extremes of introverts and extroverts. Um, what kind of car do you have for this? Have you got like a good economic? I mean, not that any car at the moment is that cheap to run with the price of petrol and whatnot. It is just forever. You don't put yourself out there though. Oh, you never know. One day you could have your own vlogging channel. No, some people just would rather watch than actually do, which is fine. Um, but yeah, I definitely like, my anxiety has always been my biggest problem as a child, really growing up. I I definitely feel like I have got a lot better doing this, and it has helped me in more ways than I can imagine. And I really owe it to one of my friends because she got me out there. Oh, okay. So that's quite. Oh, wow. I was looking at a novated lease and can't even speak. But because you get fuel, but surely they only pay you up to a certain amount of fuel. I'd love to know because I was thinking, oh, that would be really cool that eventually when I upgrade my car, because my car's a 2020, I've had it 2 years. So what's the year now? Is it 2022? I think mine's a Hyundai. Pretty cheap to run compared to some cars, but obviously fuel does add up. And I haven't been saving my receipts on fuel, which is probably a rookie error. But I have, apparently, as long as you've got them on your bank, then it doesn't really matter. I can just save that. My friend's actually got a Havel, and she was my bridesmaid, and she came and she picked us up, and we went places the week of my wedding, and she loves that car. They are up and coming, aren't they? I think they're from China. They're a bit like the Hyundais at first. They were a bit of a, "Ooh," but now, like, everyone's got a Hyundai. Oh, okay. I'd probably have to nominate about 5,000 Ks. No, I mean, probably I'd have to nominate about 20,000 Ks. I think I've done 15,000 Ks since I started doing gig work in November. I think my in 2 years I'd only done 16,000 Ks, so it's about 8,000 Ks a year of having my car, and now it's up to nearly 30,000. And obviously I've got to do a service every 10,000 Ks. So I honestly don't know whether they would actually cover. So you nominated 20K per year of kilometer. I'll definitely do double that. But I'm sure when you go through it, they can adjust the payment through the what you need it for. Although I'm pretty sure if you said you were doing food delivery, they might not cover you. Like they would say they wouldn't cover you. I've heard someone say that with insurance. Um, yeah, my car used to get that once a year. I wouldn't even do the 10,000 Ks until I started this. And now I'm doing it every 3 months. But it's good to know. I mean, it was just sitting in the garage, like literally, other than taking the kids to the train station, it was just sitting in the garage. And I was like, you know what? A few people have said to me, "Oh, you wear and tear on your car, it's gonna be terrible. You're gonna destroy your car." I'm like, "Well, what else is it gonna do? Is it just gonna sit in my garage and have low Ks and I'll be in the house and as cars are supposed to be driven and it doesn't really worry me at all." I mean, I don't go anywhere else other than the train station and the shops for the kids. Yeah, well, I didn't even have to do that. I work from home. It's long gone are the days when I used to have to travel for work. And I remember I used to have to go in like an hour's traffic back, and now I work from home and I have for about 5 years. And I don't think I could do an office job anymore. But this is why I like this gig work, getting out there just before I start work. But I mean, if you don't need to use the car, then great. But for me, I see it as in like the cars are going to devaluate anyway, regardless of whether you're doing Ks or not. And their wear and tear is always going to. And if it sits in the garage, yeah, it won't have wear and tear. But what I just think cars are there to be. Oh, you're in customer service. I used to do customer service. I don't anymore. Well, I do. I'm a recruitment manager. So I technically have to have customer service all the time. I talk to clients and candidates, and I wish McDonald's would learn a bit of customer service. They should all go to customer service school. Oh, did you? Hey Z, how are you? Lovely to see you. Not that I'm seeing you. Yeah, I was just saying my car just would have sat in the garage before November. I did at least around, I'm going to say 8,000 Ks a year. That in miles, I'm going to say 5,000 miles. And that was the most, I reckon. I reckon I wouldn't even do that. And then I started this and I've already nearly got 30,000. 30,000 on the dial. It's like pretty scary. But then again, I think about it, I'm going to upgrade my car eventually every few years. And what's it going to just rot in my garage? We were thinking about electric car, but I don't think with all the bad reviews lately about electric cars, I'm like, "Ugh." And we hired a Tesla for 2 or 3 days Christmas time and just to see what it was like. I hated it, just getting in and out the door. It was a nightmare. It wouldn't be a good door handle for food delivery, and also, I I I didn't like the look of the car. And when we were fueling up, when we were putting in the electric, it cost like $30 to fill up, which is still cheaper than filling up on petrol. But I thought, wow, there's still a lot of money just on electric. And also, I had a few friends say, don't get electric car. The batteries, they're just a nightmare to replace. You're always in anxiety. You're always in anxiety that you're going to run out of battery, like you're in a traffic jam or something. And she was in the UK and she was like, don't do it. And yeah, and it also took forever. Like it was like we went and it took us forever, first of all, to figure out how to do it. It wasn't as simple as fueling up, going to pay for it. We had to figure it out, connect to an app, plug it in, which I guess the first time you do that, it was, it was the first time. So obviously learning lesson there. If I did it the second and third time, it'd be a lot easier. And I was so annoyed, and you have to reverse park in, and there's only 3 spots, and if someone else is using that, you'd have to wait, and I was just like, "This is really inconvenient." Um, not impressed. I'm glad we did hire it just to, because my husband really wanted one. I was like, "You know what? Let's hire it, see what you think first before we make that jump," and I'm so glad we did because we saved $80,000, literally. Um but yeah, like petrol is just so easy. And whilst petrol isn't cheap, at least you kind of know what you're getting with. And oh, did you? You got on the wait list. You almost got on the wait list with the Model 3. Yeah, I don't know. The look at the back of the Tesla I like. I just don't like the look at the front. And also, like someone mentioned with Tesla, it's just like you get a Tesla because people want to look the part. Like it's just you're just paying for the name. Like over in Australia, we've got a model called BYD, and they are starting to take off. And if I went for one, I think I'd go for more like that or a hybrid one because I think I would go. I said to my husband, I said, I think my next car would be a Toyota hybrid Corolla. We hired one in Newcastle, and it was so literally hardly needed any fuel and little car. I don't need a big car just to do my deliveries. I mean, my car's not very big now, and I'm not looking to upgrade for another couple of years anyway, but still got it's only 2 years old, so I'm pretty happy with that. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you did go electric, obviously you wouldn't be. I honestly think I'll just get one of those plugs at home. That way, because we've got solar system here, so that would be okay. You would just like plug in, plug into the wall at home. I think that would be the best option rather than go to the shopping centers where it's busy and everyone's waiting to fuel up their cars. So yeah, I mean, I did look into that, but you never own your car, do you? And I was like, at the moment, I don't have any debt with my car. When we sold our last house, I paid off the cars, and it's so nice not having a car debt because I've had a car debt for so long. And then we sold our old house and we built this house, and it was one of the best things that I did is not having a car debt. But I do get the novated lease because whilst you don't own the car, you're pretty much getting everything done. You get your registration, your fuel, your maintenance, everything included. And I suppose maybe for this industry, it would work out really well. But yeah, I'm just really skeptical about going into debt over a car. Because I've done that most of my life, and it's so nice now not having a car debt. You've had a Corolla before. They keep going to Toyotas, don't they? They're like the gift that keeps giving. A Toyota never stops. Yeah, my husband doesn't want me to get a Corolla. He's like, "Oh, they're a little car." He likes bigger cars, like the sedan, not the sedan versions. I'm like, I like a little hatch. But I did like the look of the Haval. They do look quite nice, and the BYD. But yeah, I think I've talked myself out of electric now. If they ever bring hydro out, then maybe that would be the way to go. I just don't think electric cars work in Australia with the heat, the conditions. Yeah, my friend's got the exact car you've got, and it was really nice. It was spacious, but it wasn't too big. Funny, about 2 years ago, we put a deposit on the new Toyota. Oh, what is it? It's only just come out this year. The Prada, not the Prada. Yeah, is it the Prada? Anyway, yeah, it was like $100,000 I think it was a V6. I was like, we cancelled. I was like, what are we thinking about? Why do we need this? Like this is crazy. I'm so glad we didn't get it. Can you imagine dashing in one of them? I would be going through $100 of fuel every delivery. Oh, they look good, and the new ones look really good. And I was like, nah, this is silly. But yeah, little Corolla will do the job. But do you go to the coffee shops in Melbourne? Do you like coffee? Melbourne's an amazing place for coffee. Coffee and food. Z, have you ever been to Australia? Prado, yeah, Prado, that's it. I always calls it Prada, Prado. Um, Massive, aren't they? I don't know what we're thinking. I thought because we built this new house and we live kind of semi countryside, we're like, yeah, we'll get a Prado and we'll keep up with the Joneses. And I'm so glad we didn't. Yeah, you should do. One day, come to Aussie, come and visit. I would like to say Brisbane's the best state, but we have someone from Melbourne on here and like disagree. But like yeah. You're 100 kilometer from the city. So are you more towards, I mean, I'm rubbish at I do a bit of recruiting. Well, I used to do a bit of recruiting in Melbourne, but I haven't for ages, so I'm not really up to date with. But we had family, yeah. So, but that's really good. You don't want to be near the city. I'm about 50 kilometers from Brisbane. Ah, your brother. Hey, Amber, how are you? Um, yes, yes, yes. I think we do some recruitment around the Gypsyland area. Not that I do, but my colleague does. Yeah, but I'm about 50 k's from Brisbane, which is kind of enough to be near the city if we want to go in. We might even be about 40, 30 k's actually. We moved further away when we bought this house because we built on an acre. And to get land anywhere, you have to move out. But does your brother like Brisbane? 2 p.m. there on a Friday afternoon. Yay. I just thought I'd come on here, say hello. Um, and yeah, we went dashing last night, and I was saying that DoorDash was amazing. I was earning $52 an hour. We did 2 hours. The weather was awful though. Conditions were really bad. There was more rain last night than there was when we were supposed to have this cyclone. It was pretty scary. Luckily, my husband loves driving in the rain. He's a bit weird like that. He hates driving in normal sunny conditions. So yeah, he's a bit strange. There's a guy with a YouTube channel that I watch. He acts like a statue and paints with. Oh, is he like in grey? Is he like? Well, you might have to share his channel. That's so funny. See, he must have some confidence to do that. We were just talking about anxiety before, and I was saying how this gig work has helped my confidence. Not even just confidence, but it was awesome. Didn't even bother turning on Uber last night. Just went door dashing. When door dashing is really good, it's really good. And I'm only at gold, so yeah. You have to like send me an email or something and let me know his channel name. And I know it's amazing how many people like have like YouTube channels that are just like this one guy that my husband was watching, and he has like a camera in the airport. I'll have to search that up. M-A-H Mardi Fun. Okay, I'll look into him. Yeah, there's one guy that just has a camera at the airport, and people watch incoming planes. And he saw my mom's flight leave because she went to England last week. And he's like, "Oh, I saw your mom take off." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I was just on YouTube, and like it's the he watched the Emirates plane leave, and it was my mom's flight from Brisbane Airport." I was like, it's amazing. Like, and like 800 people were watching the live of airport. I mean, how cool is that? He's been there 30 years. So he's been there most of his life then. I've only been in Brisbane since 2007, so still quite young. Mom was flying to England last week to see my brother, and she's there for 6 weeks. She lives next door to us because we have a granny flat. Anyway, she wanted to upgrade her seats. She went to premium economy, but she paid for it, and they didn't have enough seats, Emirates, so they upgraded her to business to fly to Dubai. And she said it was amazing. Like in the Emirates, it was like the big Airbus Emirates one, like one of the biggest planes. So she said it was pretty luxury. Yeah, the new Trainspotting. It's like crazy. I couldn't believe he actually watched it. I was like, but it's like when the storm or the cyclone that we didn't really get happened, like people were like watching the storm chasers, which is quite funny, really. It's amazing what people watch, hey? I mean, some people watch me. Oh dear. But yeah, we looked when we're going to Vegas in July. I thought, oh, let's see how much we can upgrade. And just premium economy, we're flying United Airlines. It was 1,200 Aussie dollars just to go to LA. So that would be 2,500 Aussie dollars just to go to LA, which is fine. That's the biggest leg, obviously, because from LA then to Vegas is only an hour and 40 minutes. But I was like, that's 2.5 grand we can spend in Vegas. And that's only premium economy. That's not like we're getting business. Oh, thank you, Ahmad. I don't know. My views have been pretty low lately. I'm just like, oh, how do you get more views on YouTube? It's like you just, some videos I put out there and I think are rubbish, they get good views, and the ones that I think are really good don't get any views. How does that even work? I just can't figure it out. YouTube's one of those things I don't think you're supposed to figure out, and if it happens, it happens. Oh dear. But it's kind of like it drives you mad, YouTube. It's just trying to, but like, obviously those that want to watch me are watching, which is awesome. You need drama. Yeah, like when I put like, I think one video of like this woman that complained about me. Well, no, she didn't complain. She didn't want me to park on a driveway. Like you put a drama title in there. But I also don't want clickbait either. You don't want clickbait. You don't want to but drama does get you views, but I don't really have much drama. You need more situation. Yeah. And like between you and me, I haven't really said this on YouTube. She reached out to me via my social media and she told me to take my video down. I don't know if I told you, Amber. And I was like, well, I blurred you. And she goes, basically, there's a situation going on and she might have to go to the police and she needs me to take her off and it makes her look like the bad cop. And I was like, well, you were really rude and you made me feel like scum. And she's like, well, I didn't want that camera for many reasons. I don't want a few people seeing me. And I was like, and I think this was about a week ago. And I was just about to go out and do a Friday night session. And I was panicking. And the whole trip I was panicking, going, God, she's going to go to the police. My husband's like, oh, screw her. Like, you've done nothing wrong. You blurred her out. Like, you would say, well, I did get wet shoes last night. I tell you, oh, that was terrible. Yeah, I probably did tell you, but I was so frustrated. And in the end, I went on YouTube because the video had already been published, and I managed to edit that part out. And I let her know, and all she said was thank you. I actually saw her at McDonald's probably 3 days ago, and I just pretended I didn't know her, and she pretended she didn't know me, and I didn't even have my camera on me because I wasn't. Yeah, well, I had blurred her out anyway. Yeah, well, I Googled it, like, it only needs one person's approval to video. And fair enough, her colleague did say to me the reason she was grumpy is because she doesn't wanna be on camera and something to do with she doesn't want anyone to know where she is. But that I did blur her out, so technically, and because she was rude, I was like, "You know what? You started this situation. It will be good for the YouTube." Um Yeah, I know, but this funny thing is McDonald's still the manager never called me. And there's me being stupid enough because I went into that McDonald's about a week ago before she messaged me, and her colleague who was with me on that day, who was serving me with her, said to me, "What's your YouTube handle?" There's me thinking she wanted to go and watch my channel or be interested in the content. No, she wanted to let the other colleague know so she could go search to see if she was on YouTube. And that's when she contacted me via my Facebook. So there's me stupid enough thinking, oh, she wanted to watch the channel. And yeah, no, she didn't. But yeah, I mean, anyone can, like the police can go in with a camera, can't they? And there's cameras on the security. And I was like, yeah, she didn't want a family member knowing where she was or something like that. And I get that, but I blurred her out. You can't see who she is. And anyone can go into that McDonald's and see who she is, But yeah, I mean, some people are just strange, aren't they? Yeah, I know, don't work in public. And like I did blur her. It wasn't like I didn't blur her. So I did do the right thing. I didn't, yeah. It's not like I put her on my thumbnail too. And I said, I'm a small channel. I doubt anyone that you know will see my video. And she goes, I know you make money from YouTube. And this is your money earner. I'm like, actually, I don't make money from YouTube yet. I hate people who just assume that you make money from doing something. I registered cars, had a film student come in and ask if we could film driving into the inspection bay, and it came to me. You said no. Well, I suppose at least he asked your permission. But like, if you do Google filming, you only need one person's approval. So if that one person is the person videoing, you don't need the other person's approval. So, and what about news cameras that are always filming and there's people in the background? Do they go and get their approval? No, not at all. But anyway, I was so anxious that night and I was stressing and I was like, is she going to call the police on me? You know, and I mean, I'm sure the police have got bigger things to worry about. Well, you think they would. Yeah, I know. But then I think the real reason, and I think you might have touched on it, Amber, is I think she was worried about looking like the bad person. I mean, you could have told him, you could have, you would have been, he could have filmed, but maybe blur because you can't see much when you blur. I doubt, you know what I mean? If you blur it, it's not a problem. I mean, I wouldn't care if anyone filmed me. I'd be like, sweet, go for it. But the thing is, I was like, okay, we'll get the police. I'm sure they've got bigger things to worry about than you and your life and me doing my small vlog channel. But yeah, I think, you know, like, and her colleague told me when she asked me what I was doing it for, she goes, oh, I don't care. I don't care about being on camera. And then in her message, this McDonald's person said, oh, my colleague might not want to be on there. I'm like, well, your colleague did say she was okay with it. So I went to McDonald's last night, a different McDonald's, and it was really weird. I had my camera on. I wasn't recording. It was just on my chesty. And they saw me, the two girls turned around and start whispering. And one of them turns their shoulder and looks at me. And then I start getting paranoid and my anxiety's out the roof. Are they talking about me? And I went back to my husband and go, oh, it was really, he goes, they probably weren't talking about you. I was like, they were like, as soon as I came in and they started whispering and then one looked over their shoulder at me and it was just really weird. And it was like, I hate that feeling. I hate that. And I wish I could just cut out that anxiety of, you know, maybe people are talking about me. Maybe they're like, I mean, it was a different McDonald's, so they wouldn't even know that other McDonald's woman unless they swap shifts and they go to different McDonald's. But even still, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe she just realized she was quite rude because she was still talking to that other lady. But hey, that was the drama. But, you know, drama does get you views. And I try and avoid drama though, because it just causes your anxiety to go out the roof. But yeah, like even the spillages on drinks and stuff like that, you don't want that to happen because it's a nightmare. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Dan's like, my husband's like, no, it wasn't about you. Don't be silly. I mean, he wasn't even there. And I was like, you didn't see how they were like. I mean, he goes, and he did make a point. He goes, they're all schoolgoers or young or they didn't look like schoolgoers, but they were young. And he goes, they probably just saw the camera or I said I wasn't even filming, but yeah. What I should do though, Z, is not let it bother me. Because when it bothers you, that's obviously, you know, it's on them, not me. I'm not doing anything wrong. And if you want to whisper about me, then that's rude because you're supposed to be working and getting this non-fast food out quicker because you're so slow, McDonald's. Yeah. Or just a catchy title. A catchy title always gets, like, lots of views, but those, catchy titles can also be clickbait too, and that pisses people off. Oh, yeah. It does, it's like, if you got a problem, say it to my face. Don't whisper. It's so rude. That is not good customer service. Oh, thank you. I do care too much though, when some people like just don't give a crap. They're like, you know what? And I suppose that is a good thing to have, but it also causes you so much anxiety. Um, Worrying about what people are saying about you. Like it's on them, not on me. But yeah, you always worry, don't you? It's just nature. Like, it just and, like, when you get, like, a report on your file, I've got 3 or 2 reports on my Uber account for because of spillages, and I think, Z, you might have said that, and it was really nice in the comment. It's always based on the customer's opinion, and yes, it was a mistake, it happened, it probably upset them for about an hour that they've obviously got wet chips or their coffee was a bit spilt in their bag or something has happened. But at the end of the day, it's based on their opinion, what really matters for them. They don't take into account the they don't take into account what what's happened. Like, I always put my seat belts around my drinks, and it's always you're delivering food or not even food, like the drinks. They're always, yeah, I wish we could rate customers. And apparently you used to be able to on Uber, but they took that away because apparently Uber drivers were like just being silly about it, and obviously people were just rating for the sake of rating bad reviews. So yeah, it's just really annoying, but I am taking that with a pinch of salt or a grain of salt, and I have noticed since that incident, I've also got 5 more positive thumbs up. So, yeah, I did exactly, and problem is by the time you've got there, it's, like, too late, and I swear that one was the McDonald's fault that they didn't, put it in a cup tray because it was literally by my feet, so I don't know how that would have happened. Completely ruined his meal. I felt so sorry for him. I'd hate to be one of those delivery drivers on a bike, like, what do you call them? Like a moped. Can you imagine trying to deliver drinks, especially the McDonald's drinks? KFC, Hungry Jack's, Burger King, Red Rooster, all those kind of companies, they always do the cans. So it's so much easier. I wish McDonald's would start with their deliveries just to do drinks like a can. Thank you. Yes. Putting positivity out there. Oh, so you were like, so it didn't, yeah. So then yeah, that's not as bad. Because really, they could just complain to, the problem is, I told that customer to complain to Uber, but I didn't mean complain about me. I meant complain that the restaurant hadn't secured your drink properly because my husband was even driving and I was holding the drink. So, yeah, I had that coffee spill when I went round the corner, and that was completely my fault. Like, literally put a coffee in the back of my seat, went round a roundabout, spilled, stopped, saw that the coffee was just a wet cup in a wet bag. So I went back to the what do you call it? I went back to the cafe. I was even going to pay for it myself, and they said no, it's all right, we'll do it. And then I let the customer know. I tried to phone her, I text her, I'm going to be late because your coffee spilled, I'm getting you a new one. And she actually tipped me for it. So, and I think you said you got a tip for spilling that milkshake once. So yeah, the e-bikes, yeah, we've got a guy over here, I always see him. He must be the hardest working guy, right? He's always out there. I'm driving my kids to the train station, I'm picking them up, I see him on his e-bike, and he's got a massive like what you call it, like bag at the back, and he just looks like he's a hard-working guy that obviously needs like the money, and he works, he does the ground. That's his main job. And I just take my hat off to him because I'm like, I'm lucky I've got a car, I've got air conditioning, I don't have to pedal. I mean, obviously he's got cheaper ways to travel and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know how they do it. And obviously some cities you have to have a bike. And like I watch London Eats. He's my favorite YouTuber. Sorry, Amber. But second to you, Amber. But yeah, London Eats, London Hustle too. They're both YouTubers that do it on their mopeds, electric mopeds in London. But you wouldn't do it in a car. Like, you'd be crazy to do deliveries in London in a car. You just wouldn't with the traffic. But yeah, London Eats and London Hustle. They're both massive channels. They've got their mopeds, electric mopeds. But you should see them diving in and out of the traffic. It's pretty scary. So yeah, I mean, like any city like Sydney, like you wouldn't be going in a car around the city central. Even Brisbane, I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose you could. It would be just a nightmare. Yeah. So, and they can get in and out of traffic. They can go up the side lanes. I mean, it scares me the way they do that. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's how accidents happen. But yeah, like New York, like cities like that, just like, can you imagine ordering food in New York? You'd have to get it on a push bike or an e-bike. I mean, a e-bike or a moped or something. Yeah, I think so, because cities are just getting too crowded, aren't they? There's just you just wouldn't It just wouldn't be worth your time with the traffic. I know someone mentioned on my channel, he's in Adelaide, South Australia, and he's stopped doing food deliveries now because of the traffic. And he had to give up. He was like, I think he obviously only did it as a, side hustle. But he's like, I can't do it anymore. The traffic isn't worth it. And I must admit, when I do my mornings before I start work, sometimes I think it isn't worth it because the school traffic is worse than peak hour traffic. Peak hour traffic and school traffic are just terrible. And it's like, you might get 2 deliveries done if you're lucky. You might make $20. And it's a constant grind in that traffic. Yeah. But the only other option is that I go out at night after work, which I don't want to do it in the dark, because that's where the money's to be made, at night. The kangaroos. Is that what you mean? Kangas? Yeah, we see them all around here. I felt sorry for them though in this rain lately. Like, what do they do in the rain? I guess they huddle up together and try and keep warm. So yeah. My dogs actually slept through the night last night. It's the first night that one of them hasn't woken me up. But then the one night I get sleep, I think a mosquito bit me on my head because I had to get up and had this massive bite in my head. And I checked in the mirror. I was like, it was so itchy. I don't know if you've ever had a mosquito bite. Oh my God. When you're trying to sleep and my hair's a right mess. This was just oh, come online, say hello. Should have put my hair up probably, but never mind. You see me as I am, the real Nick. But you get deers, you get all sorts over there, don't you? You get cute deers. No, to be honest with you, Z, it doesn't, because I mean, obviously it does, but I really enjoy it. I don't do it just because, I mean, obviously the extra cash is helpful. because it all adds up. And like I said, I'm saving every cent I'm earning towards Vegas. I'm actually starting to change them to US dollars now. Every time I get paid my DoorDash and Uber Eats money, I change it to American dollars. But yeah, it doesn't make my day. I actually really enjoy it. In fact, I would say that it makes my day go faster because I've done something I'm enjoyed. I felt like I've got out of my comfort zone. Every time I was just saying when I first turned on, every time I go on an app and do deliveries, I still have that anxious feeling. Oh my God, am I going to know where this customer is? Am I going to find their location? What happens if they're up a really old driveway that I can't get to? What happens if, thinking the worst, my anxiety gets the better of me? So then afterwards, after I've done the hour and a half, 2 hours in the morning, I actually feel like I've achieved something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you did it. You did it. Great work. Give yourself a pat on the back and, sort of, you did it. You did it. My anxiety sort of thinks the worst before I turn on the app. So I don't think the days drag. Obviously, yeah, you do get a bit tired. And I do miss my morning walks because I'm not doing them as much now. Hey, Brittany, how are you? How's life in Florida? Oh, no. Yeah, they damage your cars. They really do. I know my husband's has a few times hit a Kanga on because he's in a truck and he goes into the middle of nowhere and they just jump out of you, unfortunately. Yes, mosquitoes. Oh my God. And you always realize you got a mosquito in the bite at night. I don't know whether if that's the time they all decide to come out and be itchy but yeah. No, no. I mean, I think the more you do it, the more you get confidence, I think. The more you get uh so yeah, change it. So I've got this bank account which I swapped and I've got a card that I can use in the US. So I can withdraw money in the US and literally I can transfer my money now. You sub today. Does that mean you substituted? You substituted at school? We call them supply teachers over here, I think. Is that what I think that's what you mean? Isn't it funny how different countries like call different things? We were talking about anxiety, like, stressing about things that we probably don't need to stress about, but we end up stressing about it. And like I say, every time I turn on my app, DoorDash or Uber Eats, I'm like, okay, what happens if I can't find the house? What happens if the worst scenarios I think about it? It's like, it's crazy. It's like, what is going on? Like, stop thinking, brain. Just calm down. Yeah. Oh dear. Hope it went well, Brittany. I don't know how you do it. Take my hat off to you. Is school holidays finished now? Because our school holidays start next Friday. The kids are off for 2 weeks. That's their first term break. They get 2 weeks off. Yeah. Wouldn't it be good? I was just saying my husband is the opposite to me and he doesn't get anxiety. He doesn't care. He doesn't. Oh dear. I think he thinks, why are you worried about silly little things? But to me, my brain, it's not silly. Oh, they only get a week off. We get 2 weeks in a week. Well, I don't. I wish. Then term 2's 2 weeks, term 3, 2 weeks, term 4 is 6 weeks, and that's our summer holidays because it's the opposite seasons. Because obviously um we're in autumn at the moment. So it's gonna start getting chilly in the morning and at nights, but Brisbane weather during winter is the best weather, I think. got that chill factor, but it's, jumper season. You put a jumper on and maybe a blanket around you at night, cozy weather, and then in the day it's like t-shirt and shorts still. That's our winter. Yeah, well, I'm going to Vegas, aren't I, in July? God, I'm going to be hot. Someone actually, Sin City Deliveries. I mentioned on his channel the other day. I said, "Oh, I'm going to Vegas in July," and he's like, "You do know it's summertime here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not stupid." And that's probably why it was cheaper to go over to fly. It was the cheapest time to fly over to. Oh yeah, me too. And tracksuit bottoms. That's where you gain weight though. You just live in your tracksuit bottoms because you don't feel the. And then come summertime, you put your tight shorts on. Not that I have tight shorts, but you put your summer clothes on. You're like, oh yes, those tracksuit pants. They they were that comfy. I didn't feel the stretch. Does anyone find that? You're jealous of me going to Vegas? Should come and join me. You literally probably only 6 hours flight away? Yeah. And you're only like 2 states away from Vegas, aren't you? But like they say, oh, Vegas is hot, but it's a dry heat. I think I'd rather that over a humid heat. And also there's where we're staying, there's like a really nice pool. And there's going to be air conditioning, right? In all the casinos, there's going to be aircon. You don't get babysitters. Yeah, I know. Damn. Unless you win the lottery, Brittany. You got to manifest that stuff. Yeah, 8 hours drive. Is that how? I think you said it would only take an hour or two on a flight. 8 hours drive. I'd be there every weekend. Although I haven't been there yet, I might hate it. So you never know. 8 hours from Vegas. You're kind of lucky, Amber. You're kind of near all the hot spots. I'd have to play to win, or possibly. Yeah. One of my friends, he lives in Washington and he was in Florida, and he was saying just to get back to Washington was like a 6-hour flight or something like that. And he went for a work conference. So I've got a few good friends in Florida, actually. Florida seems to be the place to be, although the humidity is going to be just as worse as. You were born in Washington. Oh, decided to go from the cold to the hot. Were your kids born in Florida, Brittany? And Amber, you're right next to Utah. Utah. Is that how you pronounce it? And Lovely Z is in California. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's like my kids were born in Australia. But technically they could have dual citizenship with my English background. But we've never actually done that. Oh, you're in Florida. For some reason I thought you were in California. Well, maybe you were giving me facts about California. Oh, there you go. I learned something new today. And we've got Mrs. B. I don't know if she's still on. She's from Melbourne. And that's a good thing with YouTube. Everyone can come together and be so far apart, but that doesn't matter. I'm probably going to wrap it up now, guys. I need to go sort my washing out. Boring stuff, you know? Yeah, that's probably why I thought you were from California. You're like, "Oh, yeah." We were talking about the size of California to Queensland, and Queensland was much bigger, if I remember rightly. But for some reason, I assumed you were in California. Oh, well, are you all in you're in Florida apart from, Amber? Yeah, I put it on before I started this, and I've got another 2 loads to do. Wish me luck. Boring. I might pop out and do some deliveries. I don't know if I could be bothered. You know, when some days you just really don't feel like it? I feel like that. Yeah. We are meeting my friend this afternoon and playing some slots because we've got our other slot channel. We've got our other slot channel. We've got our slot channel. It's our only slot channel. So we go and film every other week and do that. But you're not supposed to film in places in Australia, so we only have to go to this dingy pub that doesn't seem to care. Um, yeah, I should do, shouldn't I? Got to put it in the dryer though. I'm being lazy. It's too wet to hang outside. So, oh yeah, I forgot, Amber. You were born in Florida too. But yeah, it's a small world. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna love and leave you. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. Means a lot. And yeah, thanks for taking time out on your Friday, Saturday to come and hang with me. I've finished my coffee now, so probably a good time to see you all later. I hope you have an amazing weekend and hope you enjoy and hit that like button. Yes. Hit that like button, share it. Oh dear. Anyway, take care, guys. Lots of love and mwah. Till next one. See ya. Bye.